JonTron.
Here's a new show that I thought just needed to be made. It's called Shit Fucks Up. We've all been there. Sometimes you're playing a game and some shit pops up and you're like, God, I hope that's not a recurring theme. But no, it comes back and sometimes it's one of the main gameplay mechanics in the whole game. There are certain things that just make a game frustrating. And sometimes even if you have one petty thing wrong with your game, it'll infect the entire experience and ruin everything. And when you see this, you just have to ask why? Why would you put this in a game where it's supposed to be fun, not a chore? It's times like this where you just have to put your feet down, if you have feet. And thusly, that is the point of this mini-show, to showcase the shit in games that is nerve-wrackingly game-breaking and almost makes you put down the controller and say, fuck. This time's topic, quick... Oh! These QuickTime events, these are the bane of the... Who's doing that?
My QuickTime powers. How you liking them?
What about that, show you were supposed to be working on? How's that going, huh?
I'm working on it. You piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit.
Games are supposed to have flow, you know? So, let's delve into why QuickTime events are the cause of global warming, alright? Hi. I know that one of the first games to make QuickTime events a thing was Shenmue, but Shenmue I say, I never played that game. The first time I experienced the terror of the timed button press was in a game we all know and love as Resident Evil 4. Now at the time, it was sort of a novel thing to me. It wasn't really in games prior to that, so I mean, I didn't think much of it. Not to mention, Resident Evil 4 is one of the best games I've ever played, and the QuickTime events didn't come up that often, so I didn't notice it too much. So you'd be keeping on, playing the gameplay part of the game, and then came a cutscene. Awesome, let's just put that down. Oh shit, what the fuck? Yeah, that's real great. Get us in the middle of a freaking cutscene when we're not even supposed to be playing? What's the point? Oh, and what, I have to watch the whole thing over again? I know that's another episode entirely, but if you're gonna be unfair about getting through your cutscene, don't make us watch the same cutscene all over again. Bring us straight to the QuickTime event. This is just utter bullshit. It completely destroys the flow of the game. It's the same thing in Bayonetta. You're having fun. This game is great. This game's fantastic. But all of a sudden, whoops, you missed the 3-second cue that came out of nowhere. Looks like you have to do it all over again. Why? Why put this here? It adds nothing to the game except stress. You see, there's a fine line between when a game is hard but fair or overly frustrating. Gamers like to feel that if they messed up, it was their fault, not because the game is flawed in design. Like, take Super Meat Boy, for example. Ball-wrenchingly difficult, but you know what? The controls are so tight that if you mess up, it's entirely on you. And that feels good, that's great. Difficulty isn't the problem. Cheapness is. Like, memorization isn't fun. I'd sooner just play a card-matching game. It's the same shit with Mega Man. I know. Mega Man's fun, okay? But a lot of that stuff you can't possibly see coming unless you've played it before and know the level. Why design a game like that? Why, I ask? Like, oh, you're playing Call of Duty. That's a game of skill. It's about the action and your reflexes. Then, oh, what's this? You have to push a button at a precise millisecond to avoid a dog ripping your trachea out? What's the timing? I can never fucking do this shit! Why make a vaguely timed button push the center of whether I live or die in an already frustrating game? It's not fun. It's not fun! And some people even get off thinking that a game should just be one big-ass QuickTime event, like Indigo Prophecy. I mean, okay, yeah, okay, fine, okay. This game is supposed to be like this, and I guess if you don't like it, don't play it. But still, couldn't they think of any better gameplay devices rather than this? And that brings us to the big daddy of them all, God of War. Yeah, now let me just say, God of War is a great game. The gameplay is great, it's fun, it's fantastic. But anytime you kill anything in this game, you've got to go through a series of timed button presses, and if you fail, the enemy will buck you off like Bruce Valanche at a Marlon Brando convention. And you have to do it all over again. If I wanted to play DDR with a D-pad, I'd fucking just play DDR with a D-pad! This is useless and only adds frustration to an otherwise perfect game series. Some may argue that the button presses where you just have to ravenously tap the button makes you feel like you're actually ripping something open, and that adds to the game. And you know what? I can agree there. Those are okay, but I still don't like them that much. I've never been a fan of button mashing in general, like in Mario Party, those games where we had to vibrate the buttons constantly to do some action. But you know what was utter bullshit? You have human stamina, but the AI don't, so your arm gets tired and they just keep on winding. And you can never win! Never! I've just accepted that over the years. I mean, I could never compete with someone who's had as much experience jerking people off as Peach. She's got one hell of a strong arm there, huh? And last but not least, let's visit a newer game that seems to have caught the QuickTime fever, Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Even though I feel somewhat sick as to call this a Castlevania game, everything in this game is a QuickTime event. Everything! QuickTime on the bosses, QuickTime in the swamps, QuickTime on a horse, QuickTime on a crank. Yeah, this is why I take time away from doing my taxes, to watch a crank slowly get pulled. And I think it just makes it that much worse that this game shamelessly borrows or steals from other games like God of War and Shadow of the Colossus? Wait, Shadow of the Colossus? Who fucking rips off Shadow of the Colossus? That's like putting a hat on the Mona Lisa and saying, yeah, dude, I painted that shit. Wow, this game takes ripping off to a whole new level. Look, through all of this, what I'm trying to say is that games are fun when the gameplay is dynamic and is tangent to the goal of the game. Such as the previously mentioned Super Meat Boy. You apply your platforming skills to the needlepoint controls and try to get to the end of the level. Fun! Having to watch a cutscene multiple times because of a missed button press? Annoying. Beating a purple coin level in Super Mario Galaxy using nothing but your twitch reflexes? Rewarding. Slowly turning a crank with timed button presses? This is more akin to circumcision, bro. Developers, creators, artists, I'm talking directly to you right now. I'm talking to you as a hardcore gamer who only wants what's best for the game industry. QuickTime events. Take them out back and end the problem once and for all with your Winchester, I say. Peace. Go to normalboots.com right now to see a new JonTron original, and if you want to follow us on social networking, go to facebook.com/JonTronShow or twitter.com/JonTronShow.